White House, located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., is the official residence and workplace of the President of the United States. It is one of the most historically important buildings in the world. But there is a strange question that still lingers around. Why the White House is white? You might have heard that the building was painted white to cover up burn marks when British soldiers tried to destroy it during the War of 1812, but that isn't true. Its color actually predates that damage. Though it's true that during the war in August 1814, British troops actually set fire to the White House, but the whitewashing that took place after that disaster was really just a continuation of a years-long tradition. In 1791, then President George Washington chose the site for the estate, and construction began the following year. 7 years later, by 1798, the year after Washington had completed his second and final presidential term, workers had finished erecting the sandstone walls of the building. Instead of painting it with traditional paint, they used lime-based whitewash, simply as a means of protecting the porous stone from freezing. Since then, the whitewash was never allowed to weather off, as it was refreshed periodically. Remember, this whitewash started 16 years before the British troops tried to burn down White House. So the rumor that it was painted white to cover up burn marks is completely false. In 1800, as per Reader's Digest, the mansion was ready for its first president, founding father and the second president of the United States, John Adams. The actual name, or more appropriately, the initial name of this mansion was President's House. But because of its eye-catching exterior, people kept referring it as the White House. 12 years later, on March 18, 1812, 3 months before the United States entered war with Great Britain, for the first time the term White House was used in any official communication. It was Congressman Abijah Bigelow who wrote, "There is much trouble at the White House," as we call it, I mean the president's. Now there is many conflicting reports about the actual receiver of this communication, as some say it was his wife, but others say it was one of his colleagues. Either way, this was the first documented incident where the term White House was used by any active government personnel in an official communication. 6 years later, after the war was over, in 1818, instead of regular whitewashing, the maintenance staff finally switched to using white lead paint to keep the White House in shining and gleaming condition. 570 gallons of paint was used during this process. The nickname White House remained informal for next 80 years, until President Theodore Roosevelt made it the official name of the residence in 1901. The following year, he also launched a major renovation project that included relocating the President's offices to what's now known as the West Wing. So since 1901, this white mansion is standing tall with its official name, White House, along with all its glory and history. This was Stranger. Have a good night.